So it has been a minute since our last update and the bus is probably looking very different to the last video. As some of you have seen on Facebook, we went for a little test run trip, so we basically just packed the bus with everything that we had. We'll be doing a full bus tour soon, but in today's video I just wanted to cover the plumbing setup. So everything that we have, all our appliances that we're using for the plumbing, and Dad, the jack of all trades, we'll talk about the actual setup. And I think I have some b-roll of us actually doing the plumbing, but I didn't capture all of it, so that's why I thought we would just film another video of just Dad talking through it all. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and if you have any questions, just let us know in the comments. So first up, at the start of the bus, we have our shower toilet area. So we filmed a video previously about this shower build, and we just went with a standard shower head, nothing fancy. It does have the pause button, although to be honest we haven't actually used that, we just turned it off. But
it's got a low flow rate.
Yeah, and it has a low flow rate, so that's why we went with that one. I'll link it down below, but it's just a standard Caravan shower head, and we found the pressure when we're having showers really good. We didn't really even change anything, but we found it a really good pressure. And this is a Dorf,
recommended by a plumber.
Yeah, we were at Bunnings and we were looking at these, and there was a plumber next to us, and he says, look, if I can recommend, the Dorf brand is really good. So I don't know, we literally just said, okay, we'll grab it, and it works fine. This is a 90 by 70 shower base mold that we just bought off eBay, I think it was.
Okay, the waste from the shower, we've actually used a sink stainless fitting because we could reduce from 50mm down to 40mm, and then we run 40mm hard pipe 3/4 of the way back to the waste water tank, and then from there
the grey water tank sits like here somewhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, directly underneath this.
Ah, here.
Yeah, it's a 50-litre grey water tank, and then we use flexible hose. We used a T out of the tank, so it gives it some movement, and then at the T from the sink, which has another water trap underneath it, there's another hard line that runs across the bus, across the chassis, and then from there it's, like I said, a rubber hose into the other end of the T junction into the bottom of the tank.
So this is all underneath the bus.
Yeah, all underneath.
All underneath the bus. How it's all connected from the sink to the grey water to the shower.
Yeah, there's also a water trap at the bottom of the shower to try and stop any smells and coming back through the plumbing. The traps on both the sink and
where do you get that all from?
From various suppliers. There's two different styles. I'd have to go back through.
So we got ours from, I think it was Caravan Plus. Basically they're just plumbing supplies, but specific for this purpose, for caravans.
We didn't use the typical in your house, you've just got the large S-bends. They just take up so much room. These are much more compact and just fit out of the way.
Alright, so moving on from the shower, but still talking about the shower, I like my warm, hot showers, and that was my one request. I think that's why we went for a bus as well. A few people have asked me. We were originally going to go for a van, like something a bit smaller, but I mentioned, you know, for me...
You mean like a high-ace van, not a Caravan?
Oh yeah, no, sorry, or like a Sprinter van, like a Mercedes Sprinter. And I know you can still fit showers in them, especially the Sprinters, but I don't know, just the bus is just a bit longer. So yeah, we're really happy with the shower, and I'm happy on our little 2-week test run trip. The shower was a luxury. So, and a hot water shower is a luxury. So how we get our hot water, and I think I've previously shown it just quickly in other videos. It is a, I don't know how to say this, Duetto? Australia made Mark II hot water unit. And it is summer here at the moment, so we have found that we only really need to switch it on like 15 minutes before we have a shower, because the tanks under the bus are already quite hot.
It's 10 litre.
A It's 10 litre. Dad's whispering in my ear all the details. I do remember some things, you know.
Well, I'm just trying to give the finer details. People will probably be asking, you know, what size, how long.
It's electric, so it's not gas. And Dad and I did a test run on the 12, both on the 24 volt and the 12 volt. And I think it took, what, like 40 minutes on the 12 volt to heat up?
Well, if you, to maximum.
To maximum.
Yeah.
And just adding on to that, the reason why we got this mixer was because basically this pull-out thing, I don't know what you call that, thingamajig?
It's just on a hose. The actual nozzle is on a hose.
Yeah, and so we can open this window, turn that out, and press it. In saying that, though, we haven't done that.
What, too embarrassed to shower outside?
No, I don't know. We just haven't felt the need to use it. But I mean, oh, actually, no, that's a lie. We used it once. So yeah, that was the reason.
Wash the sand off from the beach.
Yeah, so that was the reason why we got that as an additional shower, outdoor shower.
We've got a independent, separate drinking water source. So we've used a 20-litre drum to carry the water with a C-flow low volume. I think it's 4.5 litres per minute pump. And
is that?
Yeah, that's the pump.
So that's a separate pump too.
Yeah, and then we've run it through 3 filters, which will just basically doesn't take out bacteria, but it takes out the bad taste and any other particles. And it also gives them an opportunity to
I think it does take out bacteria, doesn't it? It takes out fluoride in there.
Yeah, but it won't take out giardia. It won't take out
giardia.
Yeah, you need a ultraviolet
You
beam.
can see.
Yeah, they just get finer and finer. And there's a carbon.
To be honest, yeah, I mean, the only mistake that we didn't think of was we have our fridge fan and vent in this cupboard. Motor. What did I call it? Fan.
Yeah.
The fridge motor, and this cupboard actually gets quite hot, especially in summer. So the water, when coming out of that little tap, the separate tap, it's quite warm. But we've just been keeping a big bottle in the fridge, filling that up, and filling our water bottles up with that. So, but in all, we found this really good. The water tastes really nice, and we've only noticed now that we're back at home drinking tap water. I don't know how to explain it. It just tastes more metally, whereas this one
plus
quite
with
pure.
This system, you can you're keeping your drinking water separate from the actual bus tanks. So if you were to accidentally get some contaminated water, it's easier just to clean a 20-litre container than try and clean 160 litres of. And the other thing is, if the pump was to fail, you still got the opportunity of disconnecting the 20-litre drum, putting a tap on it, and just manually accessing the water. So that was the 2 reasons we try and build an independent system from the main water system that supplies the sink and the shower.
And so when we are filling up our water tanks, we also then just take out this, we just disconnect the hose, we take out the 20-litre carry can, and we just fill that up also. So yeah, it's pretty easy. We just got to remember to fill that one up too. And if you come over here, cameraman, Dad has hooked up this switch here as the water pump for that. So I'll just demonstrate. So you can hear that going there. So this was our separate filtered water tap, and it makes that noise when it goes. As you can see, don't want to waste our precious water. And one thing I have noticed is that we actually are very mindful of how much water we are using and drinking. So I guess that's a good thing about living in a bus. But yeah, no complaints about this. So the water tap comes with this.
It's a kit.
It's a kit.
It didn't come with a pump though. The pump.
Oh no! So you buy the pump, which is C-flow. You buy that separately. And what's the difference between this pump and the other pump?
The other pump is a larger pump, and it pumps at 11.3 litres per minute, so that you can have a reasonable shower pressure. And where this didn't need to be as high flowing because it's only going through a very small tap.
Okay. So after we've finished filling up our water bottles or whatever, we tend to turn that off after we're using it, just to mind battery usage, but obviously it doesn't take that much anyway, but just being mindful of the what we're drawing out. Alright, so now that we're on the subject of filling our tanks, We'll talk about how we fill our tanks.
And how you...
That didn't even make sense. Yeah, so we access that. We don't have to do this every time, but just otherwise we're like using all our strength to lift it up. So as you can see, that's the system that we're using, and that is our water pump.
Yeah, well, basically we try to keep the system very simple. Because we're running three 55 litre water tanks, we had to devise a system to be able to switch on each tank simply. And what I've done is a bit of reverse engineering. These are just common variety garden splitters. So you basically, normally you would see at home, this would be connected to your tap, and then the water would be flowing out to the three different watering devices. Well, I've reversed it, and I've actually used two. So I've used one in the bus, so that's basically I can see now tank 1, tank 2 are switched off, and they're operating on tap 3. And underneath the bus, just underneath the back wheel, we've actually fitted another one.
I'll show them.
And they do the opposite, so they connect into this end, and as they fill each tank, they just fill one tank, close that valve, open the next valve, fill the next tank, and then close it off. So it's just very simple and easy. Like I said, we've used the Seaflow 11.3, I believe, litres per minute. It's got a reasonable small current draw. So far it's been so good. It come with the stainless strainer in it. But we've also, when we're filling the tanks, they slip on a carbon filter on the end of the hose, which also catches any dirt or anything to try and keep the tanks as clean as possible. This is the other end. This is where when they come to a council water or water at the local park, this is just to keep the dirt off the fitting, and they just connect the hose on this section here, and then there's like I said, the taps are all switched off. They just open up the tap individually, fill each tank until a little bit of water comes out at the overflow, then move along to the next tap. Just nice and easy. If you're staying at a caravan park, we've also put in a what would you call it? City water connection, where they can connect straight in.
There you go, I'm educating you.
Yeah. And we've teed it in after the pump. It's got a one-way valve, so the water can't be backfed through the pump. And that way they don't have to run through their tanks. It's just basically the caravan pump through this pressure valve. This is, I can't remember what brand it is.
We got that from Caravan Plus.
Yeah.
And that was really quick to be delivered.
Yeah.
So we just cut the hole in the bus. I'll show some B-roll. And
it's got a pressure limiting valve behind it, so it can't damage the hot water or any of the plumbing. We had to put a bit of a disclaimer on this video because we are not licensed plumbers. Just self-taught through
other YouTube videos,
basically, and a bit of research online. The main thing is that we found that you've got to run water traps on both the sink and the shower. If you don't, the smell of whatever's in the wastewater tank will permeate back through the lines, and it'll make it very unpleasant in the bus. And the other simple thing is we've left some flexibility in the piping. It's not all rigid. Otherwise, with the bus flexing and etc., you probably end up cracking or creating leaks on some of the joints. And make sure all the pipes plan your route because you've got chassis rails and air conditioner units and etc. in the way. We had spent a bit of time just sitting underneath the bus working out which direction that the pipes were going to run, not to interfere, and it made sure that they were running downhill so you don't have the water sitting in the pipes. That was it.
And yeah, and now that we've been on like a little test run trip, we have no complaints about the plumbing. Yeah, I think it's a pretty simple setup and straightforward. Well, we think so anyway. In the next video, we will be running through our electrical setup, so stay tuned for that, and thank you for watching.